Put your hands together for Matt Walker, everyone!
Awesome. Hey, everybody. Hello. Oh, you guys are loud. Wow. Especially you. That's what I learned. Awesome. Man, I'm actually glad I can hear you, though, because I had to get ear surgery not too long ago. Had to have a hereditary problem fixed because apparently 5,000 years ago the wrong people were fucking in Scotland. I learned when you get ear surgery, you have to be naked under a blanket when they operate on your ear. It's like, did you fail anatomy class? What? How are my pants in the way? Oh, yeah. It wouldn't have bugged me if it wasn't for the fact that the guy who came in to make sure my pants were off was the gayest man I've ever seen in my entire life. I said, this guy looked like he was so gay. He draws a mustache on his hand before he jacks off. And that's pretty fucking gay. So I had Blue Cross health insurance at the time. They can suck my balls. Yep. Yeah, they covered my ear surgery, covered it. My out-of-pocket expenses on my covered ear surgery were $8,000. $8,000, yeah. I didn't have that kind of money. I gave him $4,000. Still didn't call us 2 years later like, Mr. Walker, where's the $4,000? Mr. Walker, when can we expect payment on the other $4,000? I'm thinking, fuck it. Can't repossess hearing. Like, what's gonna happen? Is a bill collector gonna plug my ears when I walk around all day? Well, I know I said I'm Scottish, but being a white guy born in America, you never really know what your heritage is. You never know. Because I saw now they can take your DNA and they can examine it and give you a report that tells you exactly what your ethnic heritage is. So I saw they took Chris Rock, famous comedian, they examined his DNA, they gave him back this report. It was like, a little bit from Nigeria and a specific village, a little bit from Burkina Faso. That's kind of a cool country. Like all these different places all over the world, like Spain and Belgium, where it was like, it's pretty cool. Sent my DNA to this company, got my results back today. Turns out I'm 85% saltine, 12% Ritz, and 3% Cheez-It. That's the red hair part. I just eat a lot of Cheez-Its, wipe my hands in my hair. I had other medical problems too. I had to get my wrist looked at. I had to go see an orthopedic surgeon. He made me get x-rays and an MRI. I was like, hey, you see how skinny and pale I am? Can't you hold me up to the light and save me $1,000? My skin is like tracing paper. If I drop my pants, my balls look like 2 prunes in a plastic baggie. They look like those bags of Saladitos in the Mexican market. Okay, for the people who don't know what Saladitos are, a word that I cannot pronounce, but I do know what they are. In Mexico, they have a snack food called Saladitos. They take plums, and they dry them out, and they coat them in salt, and they suck on them like a salt lick, because in Mexico, hypertension is not a big fucking deal. And the reason I went through all that is because that's what my balls look like. That's right, Mexicans. I know about your culture. I know about Mexican culture. You guys go from Pico Rivera, California? Yeah, that's a 98% Hispanic community. Because I guess my parents wanted to raise the degree of difficulty on my childhood. I went to El Rancho High School in Pico Rivera. Or when I was in El Rancho, people used to make fun of the neighboring town of Whittier by calling it Whittier. I've lived in Whittier now for 13 years. Only time to see a white person when I look in a fucking mirror. Like, I don't know where they went or when they left, but I was not invited to that meeting. It's bullshit. What happened to leave no man behind? So I do live in an all-Mexican neighborhood. Actually, that's not quite right. It's more like I live in a nature preserve for cholos. You can see them in their natural habitat. You can hear the sounds of cholos in nature every night. It's basically sirens, gunshots, and I'm your puppet. Because cholos love Art LeBeau. They really do. I love Art LeBeau. I love Mexican women. Mexican women are hot. Give it for the Mexican women, guys. That's right. But you have to be careful with Mexican women. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful with the birth control. Huh? I'm not saying anything you don't know. I'm just saying Mexican chicks are a lot like gremlins. If you get them wet, a whole bunch more just seem to pop right out. And don't feed them after midnight. No, don't do that. No. Because then they'll sober up and they won't fuck you later. That's why. No, if you learn anything at all tonight, let it be that pancakes are a cock blocker, okay? Because if you're at Denny's at 2 in the morning, there's a sausage in your mouth that's not attached to your body, it's not gonna fucking happen. Not gonna happen. In my neighborhood, though, you can tell you're in my neighborhood because even the trees have graffiti on them. Because apparently, where I live, Mexicans believe everything should have paint on it, except for your car. No. That's a true story. No, I talked to my neighbor yesterday. I was like, dude, what color is your car? He's like, primer. I say primer. Primer is the color. I say primer is the color. Oh man, I love where I live though. I love Mexican barbecues. I love going to barbecues, and it's kind of cool because you go to these Mexican barbecues, you can always tell which guys have spent time in jail when you're at the Mexican barbecues. You know how you tell? By the way they cut their carne asada. Yeah, no, because like regular guys, you cut your carne asada, but those guys are always like. All right, I know I'm making fun of Mexicans, though. It's okay, I can tell these jokes. I am Mexican. Okay, I'm not Mexican, but I'm a Raider fan. That's close enough, right? Who's booing? You're getting stabbed in the parking lot. That's all I know. Throw on a Phillip Rivers jersey or Peyton Manning. I'll fucking get blood on it. I don't care. Beard. No, shut the fuck up. Don't patronize me. What do you do? Like, I know this is not a body that women really look at and go, woo, when you take your shirt off. I can't even scare a woman. I have a thigh gap. And a bikini bridge. Like the only time I look even remotely tough is when I wear a Raiders jersey. Even then, people look at me and they're like, "Not all Raider fans are scary." Like, let's say I did actually try to stalk a woman. You know, her call for help would be like, "Hello, Geek Squad. I think you guys are at the wrong house. I didn't call you." True story. Other day, some high school kid came to the door selling candy. I answered the door and he says, "Excuse me, can I speak to the man of the house?" It's like, I'm almost 40, you little prick. Oh, man. I am almost 40. I feel like I'm getting old now. 2 ways I know I'm getting old. One way is now, whenever I go somewhere they have music playing, I'm always like, can't we just turn it down? Does everything have to be so loud? Like, my dream of owning a house is just so I can yell at kids for being on my lawn. Like, get off my lawn! The other day, also, I got my hair cut, and the guy pulled out the clippers and trimmed my eyebrows. I didn't know that was a thing. That happens? Like, you turn 40, you get your eyebrows trimmed and a finger in your ass at the doctor. That's what happens. Or 2 if you have a loose asshole. That's... Don't push. That's all I'm saying. Don't push. I think I'm getting whiter as I get older. Not like physically whiter. You can't get any whiter than this. But like I'm doing more white things. Like things I never would have done when I was younger. Like I found myself not too long ago on Amazon.com buying The Carpenter's Greatest Hits. I'm pretty sure it's something only white people have ever done in the history of the world right there. Yeah. Yeah, now I go on Amazon and it's like, it brings up those suggestions like, would you also like to buy John Denver's Greatest Hits? I mean, give it a couple months, maybe I'll get that white. I don't know. I was in comedy with Mike. You saw him earlier. He's Puerto Rican, Italian, black, right? We're driving up north to do comedy right before Halloween. I added a phrase I'm pretty sure only white people have ever said. We're driving north. I was like, hey, see that sign? Why don't we stop here and go in the corn maze? Yeah, only white people want to go in a corn maze. No. You'll never see a black guy in a corn maze. If a black guy's in a corn maze, he's being chased by 3 white people wearing sheets. If you see a Mexican guy in a corn maze, he's harvesting corn to make a corn maze. What's up, black people? How you doing? A couple guys over here, right at the sides. I love black people. Black people are great. I love black culture. Black culture in America is awesome. Because black culture in America is the most accepting culture of any ethnicity out there. That's what I've learned. Because you saw Steven Glickman earlier, right? He wears hip-hop gear all the time. Hip-hop gear. Him. And he's fucking accepted by black people in that stuff. He can wear FUBU, and they don't blink an eye. No, it's not even bad enough. You know why? Because he's fat. That's why. That's all it takes. If you want to be accepted by black people, you just have to be fat. You can be a fat Asian guy, a fat Jewish guy, a fat Mexican guy. You can wear hip-hop gear, whatever. You're in the club. Because what I've realized is that black people know that being black is not what's on the outside. It's not about the color of your skin. It's about what's on the inside. Being black is all about having heart disease and diabetes. I'm a terrible human being. That's what you know. Yeah, I am exceptionally white. I'm a redhead, as you can tell. That's ginger, whatever. Oh. I'm sorry, I don't know the term for my own people. I guess that's it. I am a redhead. I'm a ginger, whatever you want to call us. Yes, I'm extremely pale. But you know what that means? That means I have no athletic idols. No athletes I can look up to as a redhead. None. There are no good redheaded athletes. Who do we have? Shaun White? Shaun White! No, he cut his hair off and he sucked at the Olympics. That's all I know. But you know what he was good? You know what his nickname was? The Flying Tomato. The Flying Tomato. As a redhead, I will tell you that's not a nickname. That's a fucking insult. I finally thought last year I had a redheaded athlete I could look up to. This guy, Canelo Alvarez, boxer from Mexico, looks like the same skin tone as me, same hair color, doesn't speak a word of English, right? This guy, kind of a badass until he got his ass kicked by Floyd Mayweather, but still. Exciting time. He was the first redheaded athlete I can remember on the cover of ESPN the magazine. Yeah, got my copy of ESPN the magazine, Canelo Alvarez on the cover. Also, very first time ESPN magazine had a cover in black and white. So fuck you, Bristol, Connecticut. That's what I say. Oh man, I'm a pretty big nerd. I like all kinds of nerdy things. Like I'm gonna go home later tonight. I'm gonna watch Avatar on Blu-ray for the 13th time this year. Can't get enough of that movie. I'm a total Avatard. I really am. Fucking love that movie. So now I think I've seen Avatar so many times that I kind of have a thing for 12-foot tall blue chicks with tails, right? Like, that chick was fucking hot. I don't care what anybody says. Like, no, to me, she looked kind of like Tyra Banks held her breath until she turned blue. Like, I told my friend, I thought she was like, he's like, dude, you're fucked up. She has a tail. She has a tail. What do you do with a tail? You can't fuck her. She has a tail. What do you do with a tail? I don't know. Suck it? I'm a dirty boy. I'll give that chick a blue job. Totally. So I did bring up Shaun White. Do you guys watch the Olympics? Anybody here watch the Olympics? Yeah. Few of us, yeah. I watch a shit ton of the Olympics. Every day I watch 3 hours of curling during the Olympics. 3 hours of curling every day. Stupidest sport in the world. People on ice with brooms sweeping. Like, there should be teams of janitors just crushing it every fucking year. Like, what I'm saying is that the gold medal match should have been between Mexico and El Salvador. And I don't know what happened. I don't know how Canada snuck in there, but really. Somebody got screwed. Yeah. Now I've been watching the Paralympics. You guys watching the Paralympics? I was watching that for a little while. I was only watching those so I could figure out like which one of these guys is gonna kill his girlfriend in 6 months. I'm not the one who killed her. Don't fucking get mad at me. It's that legless bastard that did it. Fuck, man. I like watching all kinds of sports. I remember a couple years ago before the London Olympics, I watched the U.S. Olympic marathon trial on TV. I actually watched that. That has to be the worst event in the world for a sports announcer to get. It's 2 hours of him saying, so they're running. And they're still running. And they'll be running for another 2 hours. That's what it was, yeah. Watch that. And I had to wonder, like, why do the U.S. even bother having a U.S. Olympic marathon team? Like, why bother? We're never going to win. It's always some guy from Ethiopia with no shoes that wins. I'll tell you why. It's because here in America, we run for pleasure. We run for exercise. In Ethiopia, they're running from famine and warlords. If you stop running in Ethiopia, you die. The only American with a chance in that event is a guy from Detroit. That's it. Like, you're at 8 Mile, keep going another 18.2. You gotta go. Keep going. 26.2, that's how you do it. Awesome. One of my favorite sports to watch, and I call it a sport because it's on ESPN every year, but I love watching the Spelling Bee. You guys watch the Spelling Bee? Love the Spelling Bee. That event, is there every creepy 12-year-old homeschool kid in America in it? Like, all those kids, they're all fucked up. They got, like, facial twitches, do weird stuff with their hands. So those kids, they're messed up. And they spell. Spelling is worthless. You don't have to spell anymore. Your computer spells for you. Your phone spells for you. It spells a different word than you want it to, but it spells it fucking correctly. Can't impress a woman by spelling. They don't care. No, was one of these kids gonna walk into a bar in 20 years and be like, hey, I was a 2014 Spelling Bee finalist. Would you like to go out? I can tell you the answer to that question will never be Y-E-S. No, not gonna happen. The reason I know that is because I am a 5-time academic decathlon medalist, okay? No. Stop applauding. That's the most meaningless accomplishment of my life, right there. It's filled my brain with facts that have done me no good whatsoever. Because I'll tell you, knowing that the first dog in space is named Laika has never got me a peck on the fucking cheek. Women don't care. No, see, that's a lie now. Like, there's this thing in the media where women say, like, oh, I like to date nerdy guys. I like nerds. Bullshit. No, because when a woman says that she likes to date a nerd, what she means is she wants to date Tony Stark, who is Iron Man. She doesn't want to date a 39-year-old man with an Iron Man statue in his bedroom. Man, Spelling Bee kids, they're fucked up. See, those Spelling Bees, they're proof that I can't have a baby with a nerdy girl. I can't. Because that's what I get. The Spelling Kid. I don't want the Spelling Bee kid. If I have a baby with a regular girl, our kid has a chance in life. If I have a baby with a nerdy girl, like the best case scenario. Best case scenario is the Renaissance Fair. If it's a boy, he'll spend his entire freshman year of college making his own chainmail armor out of wire. And I know that because my roommate in college made his own chainmail armor out of wire. Then he used to run off in the woods with this thing called LARPing. Do you guys know what LARPing is? Yeah, one person, yeah. You know what that stands for? Live action role playing. That's where you run around the woods with plastic swords pretending that your Dungeons and Dragons game is actually happening. You know the sad part of that story? I went to go watch. I didn't even fucking do it. I was out there watching. I was like, use your fireball spell. Use your fireball spell. Well, you guys saw Stephen Glickman earlier, my best friend there, Stephen Glickman.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. I remember before he was on Big Time Rush, like a year before that show hit the air, I remember I had to loan him $150 to pay his car insurance, right? Good friend, loan him that kind of money. 1 year later, after the show was on the air, he was able to say that his most recent ex-girlfriend was a 2009 Playboy Playmate of the Year. What? Yeah. And you saw the size of him. He's a big fat fuck, okay? Like, then he broke up with her after 22 days because she was too big a pain in the ass. And that is the most impressive thing any of my friends have ever told me. Because, think about it, for the year 2009, that's the best pussy you can get by definition. There's no better for 2009. That's the cream of the cunt, right there. It doesn't get any better. He's a fat superhero, that's what that is. Stephen Kramer Glickman is Fat Man. That's what we've learned tonight. But before he was on Big Time Rush, he had a gig where he was Shrek in Shrek the Musical on Broadway. Yeah, that's kind of cool, right? I told him before he went to New York, I was like, dude, you're going to start a musical, you're going to New York City, you're going to have sex with the hottest men in town. Awesome. Yeah. Something a lot of people don't know about him is he gets panic attacks and he's scared of heights. Panic attacks, scared of heights. So for his birthday, I took him to Knott's Berry Farm one year. Because I figured there's nothing more fun than a guy with panic attacks who's scared of heights on a roller coaster. And I learned that day there is something more fun, and that's when you wait in line 30 minutes to get on Ghost Rider, and he's too fat to fit on the fucking ride. He made the fat guy walk of shame, waddle of shame. I lost my sunglasses that day. He lost his self-esteem. So, yeah. But Stephen Glickman, he's a Jewish fellow. Jewish man, right? Any Jews in here? Where's the Jews? A couple of you? No. I know I'm this white, but there's really nothing scary about me asking that. I don't know. It's I don't know. Don't worry. This isn't like a meeting, you know. You don't have to worry about it. I don't have combat boots. It's okay. Yeah. But I actually I like seeing things about the Jewish religion in the media because I'm curious because there were no Jews in Pico when I grew up. There were no Jewish kids where I went to school. So I'm always asking questions about what his upbringing was like and what the holidays mean and things like that. Purim just happened, which is apparently like the Jewish Halloween or something like that, right? They wear costumes and things. It's kind of cool, right? So I ask them questions all the time, and I learned about the holidays, like Rosh Hashanah is my favorite Jewish holiday. That's the Jewish New Year. And the reason it's my favorite is because the Jews celebrate at sundown instead of waking me up at midnight with fireworks like the fucking Mexican assholes in my neighborhood. So Rosh Hashanah is fucking badass. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. But I've learned a few things, and whenever I can't get a hold of them, I want to know something about something I see in the media. I go on the internet and look up what it is I'm looking for. And I always on this one website called Jewfact.org. Which just sounds really wrong. I don't know. It's run by Jewish people, so it's not that bad. But so I go on there, and I notice that on the website they never write out the word God. They'll just put G-D because it's something to do with using the Lord's name in vain or whatever. But to me, it just looks at there saying that God is He who shall not be named because Jews are worshiping Voldemort. Is that something like that? I'm not sure. I haven't read the Torah yet. Yeah. And I found on this website during certain Jewish holidays that you're not allowed to have certain things in your house. You're supposed to take these things called chametz. Probably more of a on there, but I can't really do the sound right. But chametz, and you're supposed to take anything that's made of wheat or leavened bread, so any whiskey products or things like that, or certain beers, you're supposed to round them up and either give them away or sell them to a non-Jewish person. But I saw on this website that some Jewish families, what they do is they take up all their contraband, they put it in a drawer, and they duct tape it shut. And they symbolically sell the contents to their neighbor for $1. And when the holiday's over, they buy it back for the very same $1. Which says to me, some of these Jewish families are looking for a loophole in the Torah, I think. And that's who you take your taxes to. That's what you gotta do. I was actually in San Diego with Stephen Glickman not too long ago, and we drove by the temple where he had his bar mitzvah when he was 13. And in the remaining 22 years, it has actually since been converted into a Protestant church because they finally read the second half of that book. I kind of want to throw like a copy of Dianetics on the doorstep. Come back in 10 years, and be like, is Tom Cruise here now? Is that what's going on? Well, L'chaim, everyone. That's what I'll say. Oh, okay. Well, as a comic, I go out for auditions every now and then. I auditioned for a commercial not long ago that was for Subway, and the concept of the commercial is that I would be in an entourage of a rock band backstage. And when you audition for a commercial, they bring in a bunch of people at the same time into the room, and they like have you all do it at the same time so they can save time or whatever. And I go in the room, and they said, to get in the mood for this commercial, if you could be any rock concert tonight, what concert would you be at? I said, I would be at a Metallica concert because I like Metallica. Right? That's right. A couple of us, yeah, that's cool. The guy next to me said that he'd be at a Coldplay concert. The guy next to him said that he'd be at a Maroon 5 concert. That's when I realized I was the only straight person going out for the role. Because if you're an adult man whose favorite band is Coldplay, I think you want something that's maroon and 5 inches long being shoved up your ass repeatedly. I don't know if you guys heard the big news, but in Michigan, gay people can get married now. It's good. Look at that. It's good. I'm very pro-gay marriage. I'm happy gay people can get married. I'm very pro-gay marriage, but I'm also very anti-gay bachelor party. Because bachelor parties are all about boobs, and I don't want to see any boobs at a gay bachelor party. I'm going to go visit my dad tomorrow. He's been complaining a lot lately because he came down with a case of the old. Yeah, my father's 91 years old. 91. 18 years older than my mother. Don't applaud. He can't hear you. It's fine. It's 91. He can't fucking hear anything. No. Yeah. When he met her, he was broke, unemployed, and he lived in an apartment with no furniture. Broke, unemployed, no furniture, 18 years older. Either my dad has a lot of game or a lot of cock. And I don't want to know which. Yeah. It's weird being a kid with an old dad. Everything's mixed up. I grew my first tooth when he lost his last one. I got out of diapers right when I got back into them. I had my first erection the night he had his last one. Don't ask me how I know that. Yeah. But it means, my dad being 18 years older than my mom, that means if I follow in his footsteps, my future wife is a really big One Direction fan right about now. Gotta start dating girls that have Bieber fever. Can't do this myself. No. See, here's something. There's some younger people in this crowd, right? Anybody here under 25, right? Under 25, make some noise. Okay, if you're under 25, I'm just going to tell you this very plainly. Everything you like right now is fucking terrible. Okay? It all sucks. It's all terrible. It's okay, because when I was under 25, everything I like sucked too, all right? Like, you guys have One Direction and Justin Bieber. We had CNC Music Factory and Vanilla Ice, okay? It's all fucking terrible. It's always been terrible. It's always gonna be terrible. Like, your kids will like terrible shit at some point. And me saying that, I like to go on Twitter a lot, and I tell people that what they like sucks, and then I get a lot of hate mail. So I actually have two websites as a comedian. I have one, funnymatt.com, where people go and like find out about shows. And I also have a website called mattwalkersucks.com, where I put all my hate mail. And I'm actually going to read for you some of my favorite messages that I've received lately, because I find these things fucking hilarious. So on Twitter, I don't know if you're familiar with Twitter, but they have these things called trending topics. What that is whatever people are talking about right now. So you see like a list of all these things people are talking about, and then you can comment on them, and then other people that are having a conversation, they'll see your tweets. So something that was trending was Taylor Swift is our inspiration. So I tweeted, Taylor Swift is our inspiration. If at first you don't succeed in a relationship, try again. To which user Red for Swift replied, I'm sure you've never had a relationship with that donkey face. There's another trend. It was 5 words I hate to hear. So I tweeted, 5 words I hate to hear. Coming up next, One Direction. And user Ratchet Harry replied and said, Coming up next, your funeral. And I'm pretty sure that's a 14-year-old girl in Portugal who sent that. That's what I think. I found a picture online of, you know how One Direction had their shitty movie, and it was like their movie poster, but it was filled with all like the bad review quotes. You know, like movie posters, like review quotes, and it was all the bad ones saying that it sucked. So I tweeted that picture because I thought that was funny, and I got a reply that said from Harry's Girl 98. Harry's Girl 98 said, "I hope you fucking burn and rot in hell and get raped by Satan, you stupid ass motherfucker. Go die." Harry's Girl 98, that makes her 16 now. This was a year. She was about 15 when she said that. Yeah, 15-year-old girl. The future of America. That's what you got. Oh yeah, I saw another trend that said, mention somebody you want to meet. Mention somebody you want to meet. So I said, mention somebody you want to meet. Justin Bieber's father in 1992 when I would pay for him to have a vasectomy. So I got a reply from @BieberLola that says, stick a knife up your ass. What fucking prison movies is she watching? What the hell? I think I saw that in Oz a couple times. There's a trend on Chris Brown's birthday that said, happy birthday, Chris Brown. So I tweeted, happy birthday, Chris Brown. Be sure to have some punch with your cake. And user Team Breezy said, shut up, you Horton Hears a Who looking motherfucker. Teenagers love me. That's all you need to know. Awesome. So now you guys are married. You guys are a couple, right? Couple, yeah. You guys married? Yes? Yeah? Okay. It's a simple question. I don't know. See, you're kind of like the problem that I had. Like when I was single and I would like date a girl and people would ask the question, I never knew the right answer to give because we weren't married. We hadn't really talked about it. But I do know the wrong answer. I've learned that the wrong answer to give when people say, oh, are you two married? The wrong answer is, no, we are not married, no. Well, we'll tell anybody in here that's dating. Ladies, if you're dating someone and you're not married, are you guys married? No? Okay, see? I'm going to tell you. If something happens... Sorry, dude, you're fucked. Come to a comedy show, leave, broken up, crying, whatever, it's all good. Yeah. Well, you guys, you're a couple of dating, right? Obviously, nice couple, that's good. I will tell you this, if you ever do decide that you need to move on from him, I'm going to give you a secret. I'm going to tell you how you can ruin his life. That's how you can ruin his life. See, because what men want in life, sexually, is anything we haven't done before. That's it. That's what we want. Whatever's new. Whatever we haven't done yet, that's what we want. So all you have to do is make up something completely depraved that nobody would ever fucking do in a million years. Suggest it to him a week before you break up, then break up with him. Yeah. So you'll be like, hey, have you ever heard of the Iowa sandpaper? You'll be like, no, what's the Iowa sandpaper? You're like, that's where I take your dick, I rub it on the corner of the cob and until you come, right? Right? And then he'll be like, oh, that sounds fucking sweet, right? Yeah, then you break up with him, and for the rest of his life, he'll be hanging out in the produce section at Ralph's trying to pick up chicks and they pick up ears of corn and be like, oh, hey, she's got corn, all right, let's go with that one. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. At least you know what that one is now, so don't fall for that. Yeah. I'm a pretty skinny guy, as you can tell. I tend to date very skinny women too, because I kind of like to be the fat one, right? Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, different guys like different things. Like, some guys like curvy girls. I just happen to like the kind of girl where we don't cuddle after sex. We just sit there and keep our bruises on our pelvic bones. Like, the kind of girl who put my dick inside, her belly pops out. It's like a scene from the movie Aliens. It's I do comedy a lot in a lot of strange places when I'm not at comedy clubs. I remember I did a comedy not too long ago at a banquet hall of a Chinese restaurant. The back room of a Chinese restaurant. Not that unusual. I do gigs all over. Fine. But at this Chinese restaurant was a Dog the Bounty Hunter impersonator. It's kind of an odd choice, right? Yeah, I don't expect to see that anywhere. Yeah, Dog the Bounty Hunter impersonator. Other comics on the show, they were like, dude, is that the real dog? I'm pretty sure it's the real dog. I think that's the real dog. That's the real dog. I was like, dude, it can't be the real dog. He's sitting there talking nicely to a black woman. It's not the real dog. It's not him. No, I did a gig after that at a chicken pot pie restaurant in San Diego.
Yeah!
Yeah. I didn't even know there was such a thing till I did comedy there. At that place, they had pictures on the wall, like celebrities, their autographs and stuff, right? One of the pictures hanging on the wall, Ike Turner. Like I was studying the picture so you could see Tina in the background, like cowering. But I told the owner, I was like, dude, why did you put a picture of OJ next to it and start the Wife Beaters Hall of Fame? Like, what the hell is this? Yeah. Then I did a gig about 2 years ago on a Sunday morning at 10 a.m. opening for a Michael Jackson impersonator at a shopping mall. This guy was amazing, though. Amazing. Did 4 songs, 4 costume changes. Incredible. This guy was so authentic that when he was done singing, a Dr. Conrad Murray impersonator came out and put him to sleep. I did a private party not so long ago for a 45-year-old aspiring professional wrestler for his birthday. Yeah. Yeah, if you're 45 and you're trying to be a professional wrestler, you're just a fat guy with a hobby involving tights. It's not going to happen, no. I got hired by his girlfriend who's mentally challenged. Very lovely girl, mentally challenged girl. So I go to the party. It was half all mentally challenged adults and half professional wrestlers. It went about as you'd expect. Mentally challenged people had a great time. I had a lot of fun telling jokes to them. They laughed at everything. Wrestlers, every fucking joke over their head. It's just fucking... Didn't get a fucking thing. They were dumb as shit. After I got done, this guy takes the microphone, gets on stage, starts talking about how much he loves his girlfriend, how beautiful she is, how perfect she is for him, and how much he loves her. Then all of a sudden, he drops down on one knee. I was like, oh shit, this guy's gonna propose. Somebody's gotta put a stop to this. They can both do better. She's a very pretty girl. She can get a guy whose day job isn't working at Burger King. And, okay, she can do better. I'm saying. I'm gonna tell you a story. I had jury duty last year. Anybody ever do jury duty? Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't bad though. I had a jury duty on a murder trial. Murder trial. It was actually kind of exciting. The trial was about a guy who had killed his mother when he was 19, choked her to death, dismembered her body, removed all the bones from the body parts, skinned all the pieces, put all that stuff in a freezer in his living room that was unplugged. If you're gonna do that, leave the fucking freezer plugged in. Like, it's gonna smell. That's. I guess he escaped. So he got caught, and I was on the trial, and the prosecution said that this was all part of a satanic ritual. But the only evidence they had that it was satanic is that he really liked heavy metal music. That was it. Because they brought in this forensic expert. He starts showing us the contents of this guy's hard drive. And it was all these heavy metal albums, and I'm just like, got it. Oh shit, watch out, Mom. His favorite band was King Diamond. King Diamond. This guy from the band Merciful Fate, his solo project King Diamond, he had like a King Diamond tattoo. He carved the King Diamond logo on her skull. That was probably a little weird. But, so he liked King Diamond. And during the closing arguments, the prosecutor was like, I'm going to play some King Diamond for you because you've heard all about him. So now you get to hear exactly what it was that he was listening to when he killed his mom. I'm like, okay. And I had to actually physically restrain myself because this music comes on. And it was just instinct. It pops in. And I have to stop myself from going like, oh shit, no, now's not the time. No. Put down the devil horns. No, I'm going to put that away. Juror number 8 does not want contempt of court. So, yeah. Some of you who actually know me a little bit know that I'm a terrible human being. I'd like to say that. I'm a bad person. I ruined my friend's wedding a couple years ago. Not on purpose. Not at the wedding. At the wedding it was fine. Just retroactively I ruined their wedding is what happened. Because like as a man, it says like you're sort of giving up in life when you see like a photo of a tiny diamond on a big fat sausage finger. Like that's... like my friend got engaged on Christmas Day, and it looked like a grain of salt on a bratwurst. That's all I'm saying. And then they held their wedding 5 days later, because you want to spend 5 days planning your wedding, I guess. I don't know. So I go to their shitty wedding, and I ate their shitty plate of Costco shrimp. And they know I'm an asshole. They know I'm an asshole. So I go there and I sat in the back row doing what assholes do. I was tweeting jokes about their shitty wedding while they were getting married. Look, it was anonymous. I didn't use their name. They're not on Twitter. They're never gonna fucking know, right? So I was tweeting things like, yeah, I always love going to weddings where I'm better dressed than the groom. It's like, if you get married, put on a fucking tie, okay? It's not that hard, right? Yeah. I tweeted jokes. It was like it's never a good sign when the wedding picture is taken from the fat girl angle. Then she was dressed in like this 40s pinup sailor outfit type dress for the wedding, and I was like, oh yeah, she's in a sailor outfit because her belly looks like a torpedo. I know it's mean, but I'm a dick. They know I'm a dick. What do they expect? And plus, they're not on Twitter. They're never going to see it, right? So 2 weeks later, I get a phone call from the husband who's very upset. Very upset with me. Because apparently they decided to finally check out what this whole Twitter thing is all about. He tells me that the wife is upset and she's crying and throwing up in the bathroom. And I was like, you're welcome. It's a start. But then, she took all the things that I'd said on Twitter anonymously, that nobody would have ever known were about them, she copy-pasted them to her own Facebook page. So everyone that she knows could see the things that I had written about her shitty wedding. So then, I started getting like angry messages on Twitter from all these people she used to work with on different TV shows where she did costumes and whatever. And I get this message from a guy who's like on the TV show Numbers, because she used to work on that show, and he's like, you should be ashamed of yourself. Not just for the things you wrote, but for being a low-level comedian. I was like, well, you should be ashamed of yourself for being on a network TV show for 5 years and only having 2,000 more Twitter followers than I do. I'm gonna ask this question, and I kind of know from the jury duty bit. Anybody like heavy metal music? It's what, like 7 of us? Yeah, that's why you have to go to concerts in San Bernardino. The rest of the people in here aren't paying to see Slayer. That's what I know. Yeah, I went to a concert, a metal show, not too long ago in Ontario. If you find yourself in Ontario, it usually means you've made some poor decisions. Because Ontario fucking sucks. So, yeah. Yeah. You know. I'm at a metal show in Ontario, California. I got way too drunk. I made some poor decisions. I got way too drunk and wound up in the mosh pit. Now, you guys don't know this, but I've learned in my lifetime the optimum weight for a mosh pit is not 125 pounds. Because I will show you what it looked like that night in the mosh pit. That's how the bell told for me. Thank you guys very much. My name is Matt Walker. If you like me, go to funnyman.com. If you don't, please go to mattwalkersucks.com. Good night.